Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We have a list of 21 properties today, and it's funny, you look at the map here, you've got this whole cluster in town, and then you've got this this one over here on McNiven. So 18 basically on this list, actually 20 from the full list, and then one out in not really the middle of nowhere. It's not that far, but it's I like it. It's one of my favorites of the day. Let's start off with Woodward. $264,900 is the price. It's an end unit townhouse condo. It does have shared fees, about $344 a month. And you can see right there, electric baseboards. So the two drawbacks on this one, and what prevents it from going up to $290,000, $300,000, is the baseboard heat, which can be more expensive to run. It can also be cheaper too, but generally if you run it the same way you run a gas furnace, it'll cost you more. And the other thing is there's surface parking, so there's no actual like unit garage. You park kind of in a communal parking lot. They've done some very nice upgrades though. We do see a lot of these going between $250,000 and $260,000, but they're not looking this nice and they're not an end unit, so I think they're going to do really well. And it's a good price point too. That's really the cheapest way to get a home with any kind of backyard, non-condo apartment in town. Even for a one-bedroom condo apartment, you're looking at probably $230,000, $240,000 in Milton. So Kavanaugh is $337,900, and things tend to come in bunches. We talked yesterday about the one in the 340s. This is the same model, 1051 square feet. Has the hardwood stairs but doesn't have the hardwood floors. It's far easier to do hardwood here than it is to do a hardwood staircase, which can get very expensive. And you've got your two bedrooms upstairs. Great price. This one is going to sell very fast and very close to asking, possibly even a little more because of the scarcity. Hampshire Way is $359,000. It's a little bit bigger. It's about 100 square feet bigger than the previous one. It's closer to Main Street, right by James Snow. So for commuting, you really can't beat these. It's got a 9-foot ceiling. It's about $50 a month for garbage and snow removal in this location. The other one has no extra maintenance fees. $50 a month translates roughly to about $10,000 on a mortgage. So if you're comparing apples to apples, this one, if it didn't have condo fees of $50 a month, it would be the same carrying cost at a $369,000, if that makes any sense. So it's a nice unit. They always sell in the $350 to $360 range, so they priced it pretty well. Hamilton is $379,700. It's an Amesbury or Brennan model, 1130 square feet. It's nice. It's got kind of a finished basement here. The home is getting to the age where it's probably going to need a new roof soon if it hasn't already been done. But really, that's a great price for like a freehold townhouse. Again, no condo fees. Again, that's pretty much entry point there. We have a semi-detached here, and it's probably about 1,300 square feet. Big open concept kitchen. And back in 2012, they could not sell this one. They had it priced. Price reduction. Finally sold it somewhere, I think, in the $360,000 range. So they're not really making much money on this. I wouldn't be surprised if this one sold for a little over asking. I think that while it's not perfect inside, I think that it's got a lot going for it at this price. And it's a semi competing with townhouses. And there's not even that many towns. 3 stories right here, no backyard versus a semi. The comparison is very strong on something like that on Gowling. Parmenter is $382,500. It's an end unit, so it's a little under 1,300 square feet. Very nice finishes inside. Anything over $380,000 has to be very nice for this kind of model. They've cracked it a couple times, but we'll see. It all depends on how this stuff shows. You can look at pictures and you can say, okay, it looks nice. When you get there in person and you see... I've seen some homes that look beautiful online, and then it's like there's scratched floors. It smells bad. The neighbors are playing loud drums, and it's like that's all stuff that influences value that you just don't get just from looking at the online stuff. And because we put this stuff out so fast, we don't always have a chance to see it before we put it in the video. Great color choices here on Slingsby. A little bit of a gray tone on the floors here, which is very much in style right now. Cream colored cabinets, great looking appliances. Very nice stuff. So this one, I think it'll sell in the 380s. Going right at asking price would break the record for this model, but I do like it. It's about 1350 square feet corner unit on this one. So Glebe Terrace is 389. Same model as the other one on Parmenter. I think it was Parmenter. There's a lot. These are called village towns, 3 stories, not really a backyard. And there's quite a few in today's list. I think there's 4 or 5. The HDR can kind of work against you. This almost looks like sort of smoke damage from a fire. But it's the high contrast. It's the way it's taken and the shadow effects there too. So I don't know, 389, I think they're going to have a bit of a tough time. This is another great pick today. I actually like today's list. There's a lot of really strong contenders. Broadway, you've got this nice sort of balanced look on the home. You also have a double car garage, 3 bedrooms, bungalow. You're on a 50 by 132 foot property. Now I could take this kitchen, I could work with those cabinets. That's real wood. I can stain it, I can paint it, I can do a lot of things. I can paint that wainscoting. I can paint this thing here. You look like you've got some upgraded flooring. There's some higher baseboards here if you look at the photos. So even though the photos aren't that impressive, you could work with this and you can really make this into something nice. Because it's a bungalow, you have a nice big floor plan for the basement, so you're going to have a pretty large rec room area. And you could even probably do a walkout from the basement if you wanted to construct a little walk-up kind of thing with a sliding door. That's probably fair game with this elevation. So good private yard, lots of trees around there. There are some buildings if you look past those trees, but it looks like there's so much cover here. In the warmer months, you're probably looking at a pretty high degree of privacy. 439, there was one on Heslop that really, it had a nice workshop garage, double car garage, but it was not nice inside. And, and that one's around the same price range. So this is one of my favorites of today. Very, very nice. Jump all over it. Bungalow with a 2-car garage is very rare and very desirable. Andrews Trail is 479.9. Semi-detached, I don't have pictures. It's a pretty good size, 1920 square feet plus a finished basement. I just had somebody, one of our subscribers to Daily Home, send me a price list from a builder, and for the same size home they're charging like $520, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. You're still paying for air conditioning, window coverings, appliances, fencing, all that kind of stuff. HST, you've got all these extra costs with the new home, tree planting charges, utility hookups, town levies. It's crazy. So it just doesn't make sense to charge more. My friend David Fleming in Toronto puts this really well. He says, why are you going to charge more for the cake mix than you are for the cake? Because you're buying a sheet of paper that one day is going to be a home. You can't charge more for that than something that's already out. It doesn't make any sense to me. You could buy something like this and rent it out and have cash flow and everything else. Meanwhile, the other one's just sitting there, and you hope that the market goes up by the time it's ready to be occupied. So Cabot Trail is 519. It is a 4-bedroom. It's a smaller 4-bedroom though. You've got one room that's 8.6. They had this one listed, I think, in the summer for 527. In the meantime, there was some stuff on Bousfield and a couple other streets in Dorset Park that have sold kind of in the 5 to 520 range. So at 519, I mean, these guys bought it in 2013 and it was like mid-4s or something like that. So it's a pretty big appreciation. I don't know what they've done inside the home, but year over year, that's pretty healthy for them to ask 520. Outside chance based on the pictures, they could get something between 500 and 520. So Caldwell is 535. Detached home. Caldwell is a reasonably quiet street. If you get too close to Derry, you start to get a lot of road noise. The kitchen seems a little bit tight, although the main floor looks like it has the nice setup of different rooms versus one big open one. It's less than 2,000 square feet plus a finished basement. Maybe a little bit on the high side of what I consider to be fair based on what else is selling right now. Then we make a big jump up to the 600s. 645 is this one on Pringle. It looks really good inside. Most of the models have been selling. They don't look as nice as this one, but they've been selling in kind of like the 620 to 640 range. There was one in this area that had a finished basement, but it was way up in the high sixes. And anyway, it's a 113-foot lot. The thing about this one, though, is that you don't have, at 650, this is a linked home. So this is joined, basically, like you don't have to buy a linked home if you don't want to. Most of these ones have really nice views of the escarpment, and they're really well done. 9-foot ceilings on the second floor. Lots of very nice finishes. Mattamy built these. It's a little area that kind of a triangle-shaped wedge right by Tremaine. So Roper is $669. We know this one's less than 2,500 square feet. Backs onto a pond. It's got some very nice finishes, 9-foot ceilings, some good built-ins here. This one would just show really well. I think if you went to see this one, you'd be very impressed. You do sometimes get the road noise from James Snow, maybe a little bit on the 401, but this little stretch on Roper I really like, and I like how it backs onto the pond there. There's kids that play hockey on that pond in the winter. It's very pleasant, very nice. I like that one a lot. Milton Brook's about 2,900 square feet, $679 is the asking price. And hardwood floors on the main. You've got a big open entrance here. The thing about that, though, is you lose a bit of space as you go back into the home. But once you start getting 3,000 square feet, you still find that you can fit a family room plus a dining room plus a kitchen. And yeah, you know, it's okay. I would take the one on Roper. I think it's got a little bit more going for it. Kincardine is about 3,000 square feet at $689. Nothing in here that really, like, you've got your old globe lights from the builder, which are about $3 to buy. A different colored hood fan. You've got lighter colored floors. I'm not sure if that's a laminate or hardwood up on the second level. And there is the back entrance here. So probably the builder did this. It looks like it's a builder kind of separate entrance finish space. That can come in handy even for a home-based business. This is a neat idea. We haven't seen anybody do this. This is the first time I've ever seen it on a listing. So you've got your nearby schools. Martin Street is undergoing a pretty substantial renovation to accommodate a lot more students. So there's a bit of transition in this neighborhood. There's going to be some kids moving around to different spots until that school's done. Mary Street is a good looking home. It's a couple doors down. I'll show you where it is. So Town Hall is basically right here, like kind of Mary Street. The Habitat Restore is right here. And so it's right down the road. There's two kind of freestanding old Victorian homes. And so the home is one of these here, and it backs onto these ones. This one's undergoing renovation. This one might do a little bit of expansion in the future, but they're pretty stable. They're homes there. Nice walk down Main Street. Lots of restaurants nearby. Grill Daddy is close. I really like Grill Daddy. So great location here. I think a very strong curb appeal. You've got a detached single car garage. The kitchen, it looks like those are IKEA cabinets, and they're kind of built into the cabinet. I mean, it'd be nice if it was all the same color, but that's not hard to fix, really. And the wood beams are great. You've got some dormer effects upstairs, built-in closets. I don't know if I would fit into that shower. That might cause some problems with people. Hand-scraped hardwood. There's a lot of charm on this one here, too. Bit of stained glass on the window and so on. So very nice. Big property. I mean, the land's probably worth $400,000, if not more. Nice one. Very nice property. Homes is $765. It's about 2,900 square feet. It backs onto green space, but we've seen homes, like even in this list, you know, $689, same size home. Really not that much different finishes. The only real kind of screamer for finishes, there's two of them. There's California shutters and there's granite counters. And then you've got your finished basement here too. Let's see what happens. I think they're aiming a little bit high, but it's still got some things like you can't, if you want green space, you know, you're kind of limited in your selection. Everything else is fair game. You can do your own finished basement. McNiven here is 10 acres. You've got a triple car garage. get a home that maybe isn't sort of the fanciest, newest home, but you could work with it. The ceiling effects, the layout, that's the stuff that you can change. It's not hard to change floors or a kitchen. You want to factor that in from a budget perspective, but it's not tremendously difficult. There you go. Nice. Big ranch bungalow. $839 is a good price for that amount of land, plus the garage, plus the home. And you also look at location too. You also look at proximity to basically like different areas. It's all that interplay between the size of the home, finishes, size of the land, proximity to town. Those are the kind of knobs that basically determine value. And this one looks pretty good in comparison to me. 2 on the Oakville board. We've got this one at 81 Millside. My understanding is the building has gone through some renovations. I haven't been in since the renovations have been completed. If they have been, I don't know if that's the main sitting area in the building. The thing is about this one, it's $254,900. It's a 2-bedroom plus a den. It's basically the same price as like a 1-bedroom or a 1+ den in some of the newer buildings. You're getting an extra bedroom. The fees, you can look at them, they're $600, which seems high, but then you look and you say for the same size unit over at Maple Crossing or over at Costigan, it's going to cost you $350 or $400 a month, and nothing's included. So this one here, you're looking at cable TV. And how much is that? It's not cheap. Heat, hydro, everything's all included with this one. So really the only thing you're paying for is your telephone. And so carrying costs, this is very affordable for most people. $254. You even put you put 5% down on something like this, $12,500 plus closing costs. Maybe you're up to $16,000 or $17,000. Your mortgage is probably somewhere around $1,250 plus your taxes and condo fees. So it puts you maybe in the high, like maybe $1,800, $1,900 a month. That's not bad, really, for a 2-bedroom plus den condo. I mean, to rent something like that is maybe a few $100s cheaper, but you're not putting anything back in your pocket at the end of the day for appreciation and mortgage pay down. So the last one is Wind Trail. And so this is the same model that we saw on Hamilton in today's list. And there was another one yesterday that was a good deal at $378. At $399, they've just got some good competitors. I think all the competitors are a little bit underlisted, but this one's nice. There's some pot drawers here, which we don't see in all of them. Entrance from the garage, so bringing your groceries into the home is a snap. So basically, they're aiming a little bit high, especially given what else is sold recently, because they kind of just took a little bit of a dip after a really strong spring. They just kind of slipped a little bit. And that's the ebb and flow of these homes. Really, you're only as good sometimes as the last 5 or 10 sales plus your competition. So that's the list for today. If you have any questions, give me a call, and we'd be glad to help you either buy a home or sell a home. Do it safely, do it profitably, and the right way. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.